Okay, kicking things off here, Salmon or whatever picked up a loan. Green did not. That left them with very little money. Money is not open in this game by design, but there's no real reason that it couldn't be. Essentially, you have all the information to keep track of it. So it's one of those games where if you want to play by the rules of not having open money, you really kind of have to say, hey, nobody can track it on paper or anything. Blue chose not to take out a loan, knowing that Green had not enough money. Remember, black and pink have a lot of money on hand. Blue did not have a lot of money, but they know they're going to get a railroad, basically. As long as they're willing to bid a little more than what Green has, they can get one, because they know Green paid a fortune and did not get a loan. Green had to make their choice first. Everyone else knows they're going to get a railroad then, which is kind of a weird little factor in this. I think it was a mistake for Green not to take a loan given how much they spent. The gray initial loan, they paid $2 extra. We had to pay loan maintenance on this one by taking it out the first turn. They didn't need that loan. Taking a loan that you didn't need to use to buy a railway is always a mistake. Salmon knows it's going to need a loan. They paid a lot for what they thought was a good railway. Then we discovered the growth. The new cubes came out on the map. I don't really remember Boston and Springfield, I think. But it brings one thought into mind that just comes up, which is, if you deliver stuff early, you're putting the cubes back in the bag. So those are more likely to come out again. Leaving stuff on the board until you're able to deliver it for more money is perhaps a mistake. It's perhaps a mistake anyway, because you lose out on that early income, which could be very, very valuable. Later in the game, you probably will have enough cash, but early on, you're kind of poor. But by putting it back in the bag, you're increasing the possibility of something that gets into the areas that you already know that one of your trains gets into. So you might be making more money off of that decision in other ways as well. Filled these suckers out. What do we have? Plainsfield, New London. Connecting us up to the south here. We had something else coming out of there. Fitchburg and Keene. That's this little piece here. That doesn't look terribly valuable except for getting us out here, although it could get you down here or whatever. Greenfield and Springfield. Again, a northern route opening up, but this one at least hooks up to something, so you can get to Greenfield from Worcester or vice versa or whatever. Fitchburg to Manchester. Ooh, the Fitchburg is opening up here. Getting us out to Manchester up here. Still not hooked up there though. Hartford to Springfield. And that'll be this hookup. So we're beginning to see the rails kind of building in one area. You want to make sure that you're in on those things that are linked up, if you can be, because you might be getting someone carryover from someone else's deliveries. They make a buck, they give you a buck. Hey, might as well, right? All right. I'll come back after the railways are dispositioned. Well, with a lot of good options out there this time for different people, prices actually plummeted. A couple of people were out of the bidding, essentially. Blue, not taking the loan, only had $4, right? Green, you knew they weren't going to get one. So that changed the whole nature of where this bidding was. There were a couple of people who had a decent amount of money, but they all were able to get decent railroads. When the prices went up, and I don't remember, most of them went around 4. This sucker, I think, went for 6. Definite decrease in cost, though. And that's making people kind of wonder about the big payments maybe they made on some of those early railways. Now, well, Green actually has the opportunity to use their bonus delivery, and they're going to do this. It doesn't really make a difference. Nobody else has it, but nobody's going to deliver it if they don't. Well, is there something they'd want to deliver on someone else? Probably not at this stage of the game, so I'm not going to even think about it. I'm just going to run this, and I put a green train up on the one space, and that'll be going back in the bag. Looking around, I'll figure the others out off camera. I think I see Salmon has a couple of options that they have to think about which they want to do, because Boston's a big hub. There are a lot of people coming out of it who may want to deliver. Now, if they make, let's keep thinking. If they deliver the purple here, they're taking that away from Blue, who could deliver it, to Lowell. But they're leaving Blues available, which they want up this way. On the other hand, Pink or Black could deliver that blue and give them each a buck. And if they each do that, that's kind of sweet for them. So I took care of the green one. All right. So green actually gets a second chance to deliver right now. They may want to. Look what they could do. They could run this blue down, 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 and give... I hope this was at Worcester. I don't know. And give a couple bucks to someone else in exchange for one for themselves. Or they could do the same this way. Or they could split it up and give a buck to everyone going here. It doesn't look like they're going to have a good blue delivery route anytime in the future where they own most of the track for it. But so what the hell? They'll do this. Oh, if this is Worcester, shit. I got to look back at the camera, see where that was. There had to be something in Worcester, so... Yeah, this is Worcester. So they don't get the money for this. They would be delivering it on someone else. They're not interested in doing that. So they'll skip their second delivery. And that puts us to Salmon, who is going to consider what they want to deliver. Do they want to deliver a blue and make sure nobody else gets that bonus? Or make sure that this double action doesn't happen? That sounds kind of reasonable. So they're going to boost themselves. And that puts the Salmon train up to the one spot. Now we go around to Gray. And, well, they'll boost themselves twice and Blue once by delivering this. So they go up to 2. Blue goes up to 2. Black. Black says, the only thing that I've got, well, I've got this purple and I've got the blue. If I deliver this, I send myself and Pink each up. And then on Pink's turn, they want to do the same. They'll deliver. And Pink and Black each go up. Now, yes, they're helping Black as much as they're helping themselves, and Black's in the lead, but that's okay. They're gaining on everyone else by doing that. That puts us to Blue, who has this Lowell purple. Now, Blue can look and say, well, I can deliver that down to Boston and then trace it over the Salmon line, and Salmon's in last place, so that doesn't seem like a bad idea either. Making myself in first place with Black and bringing Salmon up, and that leaves Green in the back. Now we have another roll, but again, 2 dice plus 1 can't, well, we could get a 3, and that would go in once. That would reduce the value of those two. But we don't get that. So if I had rolled Snake Eyes here, these two guys at 3 each would have gone back a buck. And now I just hand out the money. Well, an interesting dynamic with the loans is beginning. I get the feeling that if players don't take out loans, other players won't. But given that some players have taken out loans, it's not that it's this great advantage to do so. But if you're starting to see, as blue did here, if I don't take out a loan and green does, I will not get a railway. And then green sees, if I don't take out a loan, I won't get a railway. Now, the question is, of course, once you get above a certain price, it's not worth paying even if you have the cash. So if you end up not getting a railway, it might be better not to get a railway and not get a loan than to either pay too much for a railway, or it certainly would suck to take a loan and still not get a railway. Here's the problem. There aren't a lot of deliveries available for those players. Salmon had to keep their loan. They couldn't disperse with it. Gray wanted a railway. There was one particular one they want, and they chose to take a second loan out because of that. And blue and green both looked and said, I don't see a delivery I can make. I don't see any reason I want that bonus first delivery for not having a railway, or for not picking up a railway. So I'm going to try to make sure I get one. So now it's kind of a more even playing field because everybody's got enough cash that they could drive the price to where it's probably silly on some of these. Reveal the new things and see what happens. This time the rails went for a much more varied amount. Some of them going as low as 3 for some kind of valuable ones, which means, you know, if a 7 goes for like $3, you get 4 victory points essentially for that right off the bat. But of course you're maybe not getting the rail line that you can improve your earnings with. One thing to note, with this many players, in the 2-player game it felt very long. This is flowing very quickly. This deck is getting small very fast. It's going to run out, and that's the end of the game, which means the pace of the game is totally different depending on the number of players. In 2 players, it felt like it went for a long, long time. Your track is important. Of course, more people can run your track in this one, but your track is very important in 2-player. The more people with it, I think the less valuable, and maybe some of those decisions to take out loans to bid for important track may not be as valuable. Anyway, Gray gets a freebie, and they are going to take it. They're trying to decide if they're going to run the purple or yellow. They're going to run over Black's track. Yeah, Black's in the lead. That's a pity. They could run over 2 people, but Black's also got a $20 loan, which is a big hit. So they're going to run over Black's track and pick one of these either to go in, well, let's say they go into Worcester. They give $1 to each. I think I'm going to take the yellow. Those seem kind of rare down here. I don't know. I don't want to think too hard about the situation. Although that's what this game is really about. That's where you have your big decisions, is making these choices. But, you know, there's going to be a lot of options to hurt other people. Anyway, that was Gray's freebie. Now we go back to Salmon, and everybody's going to get one chance to deliver. Salmon's got a yellow here that they can deliver all by themselves. So they're going to do that and pump their own stock up to, well, their own income up to. And so on. We'll go through. I'll come back at the end and load this one up afterwards. Well, after Salmon, Gray ran the second split it with Black deal, and Black was happy enough with that they ran something that gave them 2 and 1 to Gray up into Worcester. So now we see the 2 of them are doing quite well in their little partnership. Worse than that, we get to Pink, and there's nothing left to deliver. I've got this yellow in Manchester that I could deliver nowhere. This blue up here that's not connected by track. And these guys aren't connected by track. This is a little confusing because it's near the rail, but it's this spot over here. And then this cube over here. This is the danger to buying companies, buying the rail lines, because you end up without an ability to gain your track. At this point we do the market change. I'm hoping to show one of these because Black may lose their little edge here. But I get a 10. Nobody's going to lose. So this is the income everybody's going to bring in. And at this point, we've got these all chunked in where they belong. and everybody's sitting on one. That's kind of cool. Alright, well, I'll pay out the money, but this is just going to load up after that. I have no reason to really see what people are getting there.